Resort and Marina has been hit hard in recent weeks by an EF1 tornado, severe thunderstorms, damaging winds, and now flooding. KLTV7's Avery Niles brings us more on their recovery efforts and their timeline to reopen the park.
On Thursday, May 23rd, Lake Palestine Resort in Marina was hit by an EF1 tornado, causing downed trees, damaged RVs and other lodging structures, and collapsing the canopy over the boats in the marina. Michael Wolf, the general manager of the resort, says while they have made progress in the recovery efforts from that storm, severe weather since has caused more problems.
The rain has not helped. As you can see behind us, the lake is at a severe flood stage now. We had most of the boathouses clear, but unfortunately right now we're at a dead stop until the water goes down so we can safely continue that work.
This here is a stage behind the restaurant the resort regularly has bands play live music on. Now it's partially underwater.
Right now we are hurting really bad. The entire month of June is one of our busiest months, usually when we're honoring reservations. Obviously now with everything down, we're possibly looking at having to refund those when we are financially stable.
Wolf says they have burned through their cash reserves from the cleanup process, but community members have stepped up to help out.
Without the support of the employees and the community members that have come out, we would have had to close the doors already. So we are so grateful for everybody that's come out and helped, both financially and physically. Every bit has helped tremendously.
Wolf says as far as a timeline of reopening, they're having to rely on Mother Nature.
We were hoping to be open this weekend, but with the floodwaters, there's not a possibility of that. So if we can catch a break with Mother Nature, maybe next weekend we can at least get the store and restaurant open. As to lodging and RV sites, that's probably going to be July 1st before we get those going again.
Avery Niles, KLTV7 News.
Wolf says they need about 2 weeks of dry weather to get things back in order.